Larry here with 7-Stage Law School Prep, another stick figure exam tip. This tip, to paraphrase former Chicago Mayor Richard Daley, is practice exams. Take them early and take them often. What do I mean by that? Some of the tips that we offer are very tactical. This one is a bit procedure-oriented. It's meant to maximize the impact of what you do and minimize stress. So the advice goes like this. You should start practicing early. Here's my chicken scratch, by which I mean before law school is ideal, but you want to start as early in the semester as you can. If it's the fall, start in September. If it is the second semester, start in February. And this is if you're a 1L. Second, practice often means practicing, and here's a rule of thumb, as often as you would exercise. That's you with a dumbbell or a baton or two-ended lollipop. You want to spend at least as much time exercising, if you're a reasonably healthy person, as you would taking practice exams. So for me, I think that's 1 hour a weekday early in the semester and much more intense a bit later as you get into late November, December, or late April and May. It's something closer to 3 hours a day in the 4 weeks before exams. Why do we suggest this? So law professors, these pointy-headed types, this is not a Klansman, it's a law professor, they like to encourage the view that law school exam taking or issue spotting is sort of this innate skill, partly for two reasons. One is self-validation. Most law professors that you have are ones who did very well in law school, and they like to feel that they're just innately smarter than you. It's a horrible generalization, but at least in my experience, it's been true. The second is subconscious bias, I think, that lets them get out of the actual burdensome task of teaching you how to take exams. More than happy to do the whole Socratic method bullshit, but actually teaching you how to do well on an exam, not their cup of tea. If you ask me, almost no one is born to take law schools well. It's about as innate a skill as riding a bicycle or learning how to make a souffle in a round bottom pan. So I've drawn these things on the background of a graph that I created. On the vertical axis is the likely grade, or let's say exam taking skill. The horizontal axis is total time spent practicing exam taking. And I think this is what happens in law school. Everyone can get up this learning curve in terms of learning how to actually spot issues. But it's a matter of time. The more time that you spend compared to your classmates in actually taking practice exams. And by the way, it's not just taking them and taking them in a very particular way. Read the works of Cal Newport, he of the blog Study Hacks. That's a great place to start. His view on acquiring a skill, deliberate practice. But if you deliberately practice, which means taking practice exams and studying them carefully to see what you're doing correctly or not correctly, you'll eventually get up this curve. Now, I think what happens is most students are here. They limit themselves in time because they start in December or even November to take practice exams. And I think this is where you want to be at a minimum, starting in September. If you actually start in September and you practice every day, you'll just have spent that much more time honing the skill of issue spotting and taking practice exams. Theoretically, that puts you in a higher likely grade range. There's very little likelihood that you're going to get grades in the A range if you don't spend enough time practicing and practicing deliberately.